ZABoxingNation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. It's August 24th, 2025, and we've got a loaded roundup for you today. Full breakdowns of last night's fights, massive updates shaking up the boxing world, and upcoming fights that you need to be prepared for. And plus, Canelo Alvarez bringing someone into his camp that's going to elevate his game. Plus, upcoming fights that you need to be prepared for. And then for your favorite segment on this day in boxing history, let's break this all down. Let's break down the fights from last night in detail because there's a lot to unpack here. First up, Lucas Bahdi versus Roger Gutierrez. This was billed as Lucas Bahdi's biggest test yet, and he passed with flying colors. Over 12 rounds, Lucas Bahdi boxed smart, using his jab to keep Roger at bay and countering effectively whenever the Venezuelan tried to push the pace. Roger had his moments, especially with looping right hands in the middle rounds, but Lucas Bahdi's composure showed that he belongs at the top. The judges had it 116-111, 117-110, and 115-112, all in favor of Lucas Bahdi. This win secures him the WBA lightweight eliminator, putting him one step away from a world title shot. He called out Gervonta Tank Davis, but he does know that Gervonta Davis is busy right now. He will be fighting Jake Paul. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lucas Bahdi is a phenomenal fight. What impressed me most about Lucas Bahdi's game was his stamina. He looked like he never gassed. And even when Roger tried to rough him up, he mixed in a couple body shots late that helped him seal in the victory. If Lucas Bahdi keeps the discipline, he could become a real problem at 135 pounds. Next up, Jack Rafferty versus Mark Chamberlain. This fight was razor close. It was an absolute war. Jack Rafferty came out applying steady pressure, working behind his left hand and trying to back Chamberlain up. Chamberlain, though, he showed resilience, firing sharp counters and refusing to be bullied by Jack Rafferty. Jack Rafferty's aggression versus Chamberlain's slick boxing. When the final bell rang, one judge gave it 115-113 in favor of Jack Rafferty, but the other two had it 114-114, making it a majority draw. For me, this is the kind of fight that screams for a rematch. Both men walked away unsatisfied, and fans did too, because it was just that close of a fight. Expect to hear noise about running this back soon. Great job, Jack Rafferty and Mark Chamberlain. Zak Miller versus Leon Woodstock. Zak Miller continues to build momentum as one of Britain's brightest featherweight fighters. He controlled this fight from opening bell, jabbing, moving, and outworking Woodstock in nearly every round. But don't sleep on Woodstock. This guy put up a tremendous fight. The judges scored it 117-112, 117-112, and 117-111, all for Zak Miller. Liam Woodstock tried to rally in the early rounds, but Zak Miller's defense and accuracy kept him in control of the fight. What's impressive about Zak Miller is his engine. He doesn't slow down. And with this win, he not only defends a Commonwealth featherweight title, but also proves he's ready to test himself at the European level or even fringe world level. Tremendous job, Zak Miller. Now we have Jack Turner versus Nicholas Muguruza. Jack Turner gave us the knockout of the night. In round 6, he landed a punishing combination that dropped Muguruza, and though Muguruza beat the count, the referee waved it off moments later. Muguruza is a tremendous fighter. He had Jack Turner on the back foot at certain points in this fight. And in my opinion, I had Muguruza winning this fight up until the stoppage. Jack Turner, WBA International Super Flyweight belt with the statement TKO win over Muguruza. Jack Turner's power at 115 pounds is eye-catching, and he's starting to look like a name who could climb into the world title competition soon. At just 23, he's one of the most exciting fighters in the lower weight classes. Great job, Jack Turner. Abass Baraou shocks Yoenis Tellez. Baraou outclassed the previously unbeaten Cuban to claim the WBA interim super welterweight title. With Crawford set to vacate, Baraou looks poised to be elevated to the full champion. Héctor Luis García retires from boxing. The announcement was made on social media just hours before he was scheduled to fight Carlos Burris on August 24th in San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. Héctor Luis García, 33 years old, walks away after back-to-back defeats, first to Gervonta Tank Davis in January of 2023, and then to Lamont Roach Jr. November 2023. A former WBA super featherweight champion, Héctor Luis García was known for his grit and his upset win over Chris Colbert that put him on the map. His career may not have ended the way he wanted, but he'll be remembered as a fighter who maximized on his opportunities. Terence Bud Crawford to be stripped of his titles. Once Terence Bud Crawford steps in the ring with Saul Canelo Alvarez, September 13th, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, he'll lose his WBA and WBO belts at 154 pounds. That clears the way for Baraou to move into full championship status. Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. This fight is official for September 13th, again at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Streaming worldwide on Netflix. This will be undisputed versus undisputed. Legacy will be on the line. And inside of training camp, Saul Canelo Alvarez has been sparring, training with Jaron Boots Ennis. This is huge for both fighters. Saul Canelo Alvarez sharpening himself for Crawford's speed and slickness, while Jaron Boots Ennis is gaining championship level experience ahead of his upcoming fight against Uwisma Lima, where he's going to be doing his debut at 154 pounds. The respect between the two camps shows the level of preparation going into September. Tremendous job, Saul Canelo Alvarez, Jaron Boots Ennis. Can't wait for these fights. And now for the upcoming fights that you need to be prepared for. September 4th through the 14th, the World Boxing Championship level. The World Boxing Championship in Liverpool. The best amateur fighters in the world will compete, and this event will shape the next generation of champions. And then, of course, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford, again at Allegiant Stadium. This fight everyone is waiting for. Saul Canelo Alvarez defending his undisputed super middleweight crown against Terence Bud Crawford, who is daring to jump up to 168 after dominating 147 and doing an okay job against Madrimov at 154. Now, October. Well, the date is still to be determined. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Uwisma Lima. Jaron Boots Ennis is looking to send a message to the welterweight division. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Uwisma Lima. This will be his first fight at 154 pounds. And he's in camp already with the best 168-pounder in Canelo Alvarez. So I think that he'll be well prepared for Uwisma Lima and anything that he brings to the table. And then we have David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. It is fireworks on paper. David Benavidez, the relentless Ecuadorian monster, who is promising to come forward the entire fight. Both of these guys are promising to put on a real firefight on the night. That can either work out in David Benavidez's hand, or it could work against him because Anthony Yarde is proven at 175 pounds. Will David Benavidez be able to overcome and conquer the 175-pound division? Let me know in the comments below. How do you guys see this fight going? And now for your favorite segment on this day in boxing history. On this day in 2024, Floyd Mayweather Jr. returned to the ring for an exhibition fight, John Gotti III, in Mexico City. While not an official pro fight, it drew international headlines, once again showed Mayweather's pull as a global boxing attraction even after retirement. And going back further, undefeated knockout artist Julian suffered his first professional defeat when McCallum stopped him in just 2 rounds at the Miami Beach and the Convention Center. That night reminded us that even the most feared punchers can be undone by technical brilliance. 2 very different moments, but both carved into boxing's timeline in August 24th. That wraps up today's breakdowns. Boxing is buzzing right now, and the road to September 13th is only getting closer and closer. What did you think about Lucas Bahdi's performance? Does he have what it takes to hang with the elite level fighters at lightweight? And who do you favor in Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford? Drop your thoughts and picks in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an update. But this is ZABoxingNation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.